All right, guys, welcome to episode number 18 of the Limitless Mindset Podcast. I'm going to try to make today's a little quick for you guys, try to drop some value for you, and kind of give you guys a little bit of updates on where we're at as well, too, within the brokerage. Had some fun things taking place and been growing like crazy. So before we dive right into it, today's episode, I want to talk a little bit about social media. This is something that has been extremely prevalent within our brokerage, and I'm going to be honest with you, it's one of the main key components and tools to my success and what I've used to grow my business and what I've used to leverage. With that being said, I have a love-hate relationship with it, and I think it's extremely important to break down the dichotomy of social media and make sure that you're actually using it as a tool and a resource properly, and you're not just using it as a comparison tool. So I wanted to get on here today, drop a little bit of value for you guys, and put some things into perspective for some of you guys that are maybe utilizing social media within your guys' business, your personal life, and really break it down to trying to change your mindset behind it being used as a tool instead of using it as a platform to base or compare yourself to others from a life perspective. So before we get into that, I'll give you guys some updates on our brokerage. Like I said, we've been growing like crazy. It's been fun. It's been a wild ride so far. I told you guys as we started this, I'd go along the journey, kind of document what we are experiencing right now, what we are seeing out there right now, how it's going, struggles, challenges, but things are going good. Like I said, we've got an amazing culture. One of the things that was, always top of mind when I decided to do this was I wanted to take what I had done within my personal business, and then when I had started my team, we ultimately wanted to replicate that basically. And so it was extremely important to figure out a way that we could replicate that within our culture as we grew the brokerage and as we had added more people into our culture. I wanted to keep that the same with the way that we had always ran the team. We were always close-knit. We always try to add a ton of value to each other. We try to support each other. So it was extremely important that we had done that as we continue to grow. I know that for some of my team members, when we launched the brokerage, that was one of their main primary concerns. So I always took that to heart and kept it in mind. And I can tell you guys, it's been amazing. We've been pretty successful in maintaining a really tight-knit culture, a super supportive culture. We are up to today, as of today, actually, we brought on our 42nd agent, which is crazy to me to think. It's humbling in a way because so many people trust me to help guide them, and not just me, but trust others within the brokerage and the culture and what we're creating. And for those of you guys that have followed me, I have not been that active on like trying to recruit people. I'm not on my social media every day. I'm not out there cold calling agents, telling them to come over. Everybody that's found me from day one and has joined my team and ultimately now is joining our brokerage has found me 100% organically, right? They found me on social media. They followed me. They watched me. Maybe they had done some interactions or transactions with me in the past, had done business with me in the past. I just maintain those relationships, and they like what they have, they going on, and here they are. They come over, and we're pretty selective on who we bring over. I'll interview everybody that does. We don't take just anybody. We ultimately want to make sure that what we have going on fits their long-term vision and where they're going. And if it's something that I don't think we're going to be a good fit for, or we can't help, we tell them that. Because ultimately, if they're here, I want to make sure that we're adding value. So, like I said, we're at 42 today. It's still crazy. It's extremely humbling to me that many people love what we have going on over here and just trust me. That's kind of the way that I see it, is that the responsibility, I guess, if I had to summarize it coming from a bird's eye view on this whole thing, is that many people trust what we're doing here, that, we're going to get them to where they want to go in goals. And it's crazy. It's humbling. It's been a fun growth challenge. It's like I told you guys before, it's cool. I was a, top producing agent. I've seen a lot of different success in the real estate industry. I do investing now is where I'm going into. We're actually kind of starting up a second division within our brokerage called Limitless Cash Offers, where we've been pursuing off-market properties, fix and flip opportunities. I have a couple agents in my brokerage that have been taking down some flips, some properties. I've been taking down some properties and purchasing them as well off-market. So I've been going pretty heavy on that. That's probably going to be a primary focus of mine going into this year. Now that I have the brokerage, my team's going, I got all those systems and processes in place. So now this is probably going to be going towards the next journey for me for this year, is to build that process out within the brokerage to create more opportunity for investing, rental, ownership, things of that nature, to help our agents not be just transactional agents, but also active investors themselves, so that they fully immerse themselves in real estate. So that's what we got going on over here. Challenges have been probably we're definitely out of space. We're going to be getting a new office here, hopefully, in the next probably 8 months to a year. That's something we're actively working on right now, just to accommodate the amount of people we have. This is not a brokerage where I tell people, just stay at home and do the whole virtual model. That may work for some, but for me, I always believe in, in-person coaching and hands-on interaction and one-on-ones and meetings and, things like that. Maybe call me old school, but that's how I've always done it. So we're definitely going to need a bigger office. That's probably been the pain point for us as of lately. And then secondly, just being very selective with my time. I'm learning how to say no to more things now, as I need to free up more time to spend with my people. So anything that's going to be an external distraction or take me away from what I have going on over here and my people, I've been finding myself saying no to, like I said, free up that bandwidth for myself. So that's a little update for you guys on what's going on in our brokerage. And then we will dive into something that's been weighing kind of heavy on my mind that I wanted to share with a few of you guys in hopes that it will add some value to you guys and maybe help you guys think a little bit differently. So social media as we know it, right, was a social media platform. Everybody uses it. Most likely, if you're watching this, if you know me, if you know who I am, right, you got social media, obviously. And, it was first started out, obviously, just to be a social tool to connect people. And it's been, I have a love-hate relationship because I think it's an absolutely amazing tool to be used. Like I said, I've built my entire business primarily on social media. That's how I got my name out. That's how I marketed. That's how I've interacted. I've met some amazing people through social media. I've connected with some amazing people. Some of my best friends today are people I'd met through social media, which I may not have had an opportunity to meet at that time. Some of the downsides that I dislike about social media, though, is that I feel like in today's day and age, it causes a lot of people, it takes away a lot of joy, right? Joy through comparison. And what I mean by that is so many people these days I have conversations with, right? And the cool thing about social media is, right, is if you're doing something really cool, if you're doing something really, kind of badass, something revolutionary, it's cool. You can get your phone out, right? You whip out that record button, you film yourself, and literally whatever message you need to get out to the world, it can be done within a matter of seconds, right? Back in the day when somebody needed to get a word out, how do they do it? They advertised through newspaper, and then it translated into maybe magazine, right? And then it got into TV ads. That was the big thing and can still kind of be something big. And then radio ads, right? And it cost a lot of money and you had to have a big budget. And if you were, basically bootstrapping yourself to get into business, you better have a good advertising budget or you're just going to need to get out there and hit the streets and go door knock and, do whatever you can do with such a low amount of budget, And as social media came around, the absolutely amazing thing about it was it is free. It costs you no money to get out there as long as you're putting out some relevant content and you're sharing what it is that you know with the world. It's easily accessible, if you're out there on the job doing trainings, if you're out there, with customers or clients, or maybe you're making something, you literally get your phone out and you share it within a second. You can reach hundreds of thousands of people if you're doing it right, One of the cool things about Facebook, one of the ways I initially had built my business up when I didn't have any money for marketing, when I just started out, was utilizing Facebook groups, right? It was one of the most genius ways, in my opinion, and easiest ways to build a business. I remember when I first got into real estate, I obviously didn't have a pipeline. I didn't have leads. I didn't have anybody. And I went to my broker at the time when I first started and I said, hey, can you teach me how to lead gen? What do I need to do? I remember his response was, you can go door knock, you can hold some open houses, which I did. I did do a lot of open houses. Self-admittedly, I'm not much of a door knocker. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I'm just not that guy that was going up and knocking on doors and striking up random conversations with people. I've always been a digital marketer personally. That's kind of the path I've taken. I did mailers and door flyers. I really had tried it all, but I kept navigating back towards social media because it was free, right? It was the easiest way that I knew to put things into perspective. You could be standing on a street, look down that road, and, you may only have 100 houses on that entire street or that entire neighborhood. And then the way I saw it was, man, I could make a post on social media and I could potentially reach 500,000-600,000 people, 2,000 people, 3,000, however many it was, with the push of a button in a matter of minutes, right? From me making that video, it just made more sense for me personally to leverage something like that than to go out and do door knocking and whatnot. So I'd started out doing that, and then there's Facebook groups, and the super cool thing about Facebook groups is that it has this awesome thing called a group that you actually. I look at it like buckets, right? If you're like, hey, I want to go target, somebody, my potential customer or client that lives in this area, you literally can go find a Facebook group, and 9 times out of 10, everybody in that Facebook group are going to live in the targeted area that you're going to be in. So you can get super specific with who it is you're looking for. In real estate, this did wonders because if I was looking for a certain property in Gilbert, Chandler, Santan Valley, Apache Junction, Phoenix, Scottsdale, wherever it was, I could simply go into some of these Facebook groups and leverage that and say, hey guys, this is exactly what it is I'm looking for, right? And it really, after a while, I started to find myself utilizing social media as a CRM about my second or third year into my business. That's really all it was. I didn't really get on social media to share a whole lot about what I had going on in my personal life because I was so overextended on just basically using it for a tool and a resource. I mean, I use it to keep up to date with my customers, my clients, my employees that may work with me, what's going on in their lives, right? Other family members, things like that. But that's really what social media is for me today. To be honest with you guys, I don't really like it all that much. um, it's gotten to be borderline kind of how it is with the media and the news. Like I told you guys, I don't watch social media or the news, I should say. I don't watch the news much anymore because it just doesn't add a whole lot of value to me anymore. The news, basically, in my experience, every time you turn it on, there's one good story for every 10 negative stories that they have on there. And I just wanted to free myself of all of that negative things that were taking place. The last thing I wanted to do was wake up in the morning and look at something negative that was going on in the world today. So, about 4 years ago, I woke up one day. I still remember this. I had hopped on Facebook, I think, and was doing my thing, just kind of checking it in the morning, having my cup of coffee. And it was just, I think, honestly, it was probably almost 5 years ago was when the initial election was going on, when I think Trump was getting ready to get elected. And it was just so much negativity, right? I had people friends, family, I mean, everybody was just on there bashing each other, right? Over something so silly, in my opinion, with who cares what somebody believes in or what their rights are, right? How are they as a person? But it really caused a massive divide. I remember at that time, I turned the news on, same thing. It was just everywhere you turned, it was something negative, some kind of conflict. And so I still remember to this day, that morning I went through my social media, and for about a week, I'd gone through and unfollowed everything. I made a commitment to myself and basically said, here's the thing. It's an amazing tool. It's helped build my business. It's an amazing way to reach people, but it's feeding me some really negative things. Every morning I had noticed myself, I'd start my day off with a somewhat negative mindset, right? I'd see a comment from somebody that I had respected or cared about, and they were on there just bashing somebody because they had a different view or belief than somebody. Or, I'd turn on a certain news or media station that, would have something negative to say, right, about somebody that, didn't align with their potential consumer that was watching them. Or even, companies that I had respected, I buy products from, and they're on there just spewing this rhetoric basically to other people that don't believe in what they are. And, I just got tired of it. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. It just after like a few weeks of just the constant negative on there, I said, I got to change this up. I got to find a way to use this, but I want to make sure that I am using it to an advantage and it's not becoming a disadvantage and ruining my mindset completely. So I went through and I said, here's what we're going to do. We're going to follow everybody, anybody. I don't care if they're friend, family, somebody I respect, somebody, whatever, maybe I never met them. They just ended up on my friends list. And I said, if I go on there and they're not adding value to me, which means that, maybe daily they're not putting up some good news. They're not sharing something cool about what's going on in their life. They're not, on there maybe actively trying to teach people different things. I'm going to unfollow them. I don't want to see it. If they're not adding value, if I'm not gaining something from this, mutual relationship on Facebook, whatever you want to call it, right? Or following each other. If I'm not gaining something from that, I'm going to unfollow them. I also made a commitment to myself. I'm not going to watch the news anymore. No more turning the news on, no more television, no more nothing. And I mean, I kid you guys not, I went through a week-long purge 4 years ago. I can tell you wholeheartedly now, here we are going on almost 5 years and I still don't watch TV. Can't tell you guys the last time I went home and ever turned a TV on. I think I probably got about 5 minutes of a Super Bowl halftime, and that was it. I don't watch TV. Those people that know me, you're never going to see me on the couch sitting down watching TV anymore. I loved it so much when I cut that out of my life that I've never gone back to it, and I never plan on going back to it because it's just negative, right? And that piece of my life that I gained back, the mental clarity that I gained back from not every day being conditioned to seeing negative things anymore, was so freeing to me that, like I said, I never went back to it. I no longer had a need to know what was going on in the world. I didn't care. My social media feed went, I kid you not, from one night, people constantly negatively tearing each other down, news stations, propaganda stations tearing things down, to now I only see people that basically add value, right? They're the ones that are out there teaching people how to do things. They're the ones that are sharing really cool stories about their kids and things that are going on. They're the ones that are, out there crushing it in business that I'm basically learning from. So just imagine that, right? You have a social media, and some of you guys are probably in this boat right now, where you hop on social media and you're like, oh man, there goes Uncle Harry again, whatever, spewing off, and it's super frustrating, right? And you may not notice it, but I would invite you guys to stop and really just think about it for a second as you guys are scrolling. What are you feeding yourself first thing in the morning, right? What kind of pages are you following? Are you following the super right wing or super left wing news media stations that are constantly in the back and forth war and, have nothing good to say? Are you guys following, business owners? Are you guys following entrepreneurs? Are you guys following people that are putting good messages out there, good vibes? See, this is the really cool and amazing thing about social media, is that there are so many different options and avenues out there for you guys to follow. And I wholeheartedly believe that what you feed yourself daily and what you feed your mind is going to set the tone for the rest of the day. It's going to set the tone for your mindset. If you're waking up every morning and you're following things that basically are tearing the world down and not sharing anything positive out there, what do you think your thoughts are going to be, right? What do you think you're going to assume about the world? How is the world going to look to you through your lens if all you're hearing is negative news and negative media out there, right? Another thing I don't really like about social media these days is that I feel like, again, right back to what I talked about, it's very easy for people to get on there and share, right? It literally, from like the click of a button, you make a video, you make a podcast, you make a post, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. You can share it in a matter of seconds. You can get your message out to the world. This is great and this is bad. I remember, again, and this is probably some advice to those of you guys that feel like you're falling behind in life, right? I'm going to give you guys some wisdom here that I learned the hard way, right? I know people right now that I'm friends with that are multi-millionaires. And I mean, I've seen it firsthand. Like I'm around these guys. I hang out with them. I've gone on some vacations with them. I've bought and sold houses for them. And these people aren't even on social media. You would never even know that these people exist. And I can tell you they're probably some of the happiest people I know. They keep their head above water. They don't pay attention to what's going on in the world. And they don't show the world what they have, what they're doing. They don't do any of that. And they're out there absolutely killing it. And I also know people personally right now that on social media, you would think they were, just crushing it in life, right? Always putting on a smile on social media, right? They every picture in there, they're smiling. Every picture, life looks perfect to those people. They show their cars, right? The things that they're out there crushing it and killing it. They show the whatever you want to call it, the bank account, their crypto wallets, making money and stuff. But I can tell you guys, I know some of these people personally, and that is not what is going on behind the scenes. And when you figure this out really quickly, again, it goes right back to with social media, right? People are only going to show you the highlight reels that are going on in their life right now. They're hardly ever going to get people that are on there that are going to basically post about the negative, right? They're not going to post about, hey, I lost here. This was a negative. I sucked here. I really messed up here. Not a whole lot of people are going to get on there and do that. And the problem with that is, number one, you're not being authentic and you're not being raw. And secondly, to the general public that's out following some of these people, and I would probably say this goes in line with some of the top influencers as well too. If you're on there making your life look 100% perfect, like things are good, it almost in a way makes others feel like something's wrong with them in their life, when we all have things that are wrong in our life, right? So you start to learn this very quickly. And when you can get this in your guys' mindset that, number one, what are you showing yourself on social media, right? Are you seeing things that only help you progress and are beneficial? Because ultimately, guys, you don't need to know what's going on in everybody's life. I know I sure as hell don't. For those of you guys, again, that know me very personally, for those of you guys that work with me, I could give two craps what goes on in other people's lives. I definitely care about people. If somebody comes to me and confides in something and they're struggling in life, I'm going to help them, right? You guys know that I'm going to give the shirt off my back, but I'm also not that guy that goes out and looks for drama. I don't really care. Don't come to me and bring gossip within my office. I don't have any time for it. I don't care about it. It's none of my business, right? And I take that same approach when it comes to social media. Nobody wants to see negative, hear negative on there 24/7. It's okay to be authentic, be real, share some of your struggles, right? I'm all about it. You guys will hear me. I'll share some of the struggles that we're going through. I share some of the bad deals we go through. Like I said today, I share some of the struggles of building a business, what's been challenging, what's been good. I try to give you guys both sides of the coin, because I think the problem is with social media is too many people make things look too easy, right? Especially this day and age. We're in a world right now of entitlement. I'm just going to be 100% honest with you. You guys have probably seen it. People are quick to move on. People are quick to give up on things. They are on social media. They see these people over here killing it. And in essence, it makes them feel like they're not doing enough. It makes them feel like they're not enough. You see the people that are going and, they got to take 100 different photos just for that perfect photo that they want to showcase for the world. To put on there. And guys, I'm here to tell you that's not real life. That's not what real life is. That's not how real life goes. It's hard as hell sometimes. We all go through struggles. We all have hard days. And especially in the business and entrepreneurial space, everybody's all about the get rich quick. I see this stuff so much on social media right now. It's easy. Join this program and I'm going to make it super easy for you. And you buy this, $9.99 course and it's a cakewalk. And the reality of it is that those people that are most likely, selling the courses or doing whatever, or MLM program, whatever it is, they most likely behind the scenes aren't seeing the success that you guys think that they're really seeing. Now, does that mean there aren't people out there crushing it? Absolutely. I would tell you guys right now, really investigate who it is that you guys are following and make sure that behind the scenes that they do share some of their struggles, right? Hey guys, here's the things that I'm winning at. By the way, here's what it cost me on the back end. This is what I had to go through. By the way, it did not happen overnight. It took me 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, right? There's no get rich quick anything this day and age. I can tell you guys right now, may there be something short term that, takes off and maybe you get to ride a quick little wave. Probably, but if you're not building an actual foundation for your business, you're not starting at ground zero and you don't have a 5, 10 year, 15 year outlook on your business and understand that to get to where you want to be, it's going to take time, effort, and energy. You're going to fail. I promise you guys. And this is where, again, when it comes to the social media side of things, nobody shares that side of things. Nobody shares the toughness that goes behind it. Nobody shares the struggles. Nobody shares the hard days. All they want to show you guys is what is the good on the other side. And ultimately, when you go to attempt what it is that they're doing, right, whether you're trying to break into a new business, whether that be finance, real estate, lending, crypto, whatever business you guys are in, investing, right, you see these quote unquote gurus on the internet out there basically posting, do this 5 steps and follow me and get this, right? But they've never actually built anything for themselves on the back end. You guys are setting yourselves up for failure, and you have to be able to see through the filter that people are putting up on their social media right now, because like I said, they're not showing you guys the full picture. So if I could offer you guys some advice, again, something that was an absolute game changer for me was, turn off the negative, guys. If you're going to put any filter on your social media, put a filter on the things that are not serving you. Put a filter on the things that are not showing you what it is you want to show. Put a filter on the things that are not truly educating you. Put a filter on the unauthentic people on there, because the problem is it's going to align you with them and you're going to think that you're not doing enough, which don't confuse that, guys. You got to put in the friggin' work. What I mean by that is don't take me saying you're not, doing enough as, because you're not getting from point A to point B as quick as possible. I mean, you need to put in the work. You need to be hustling. You need to be grinding. But if you're not seeing the results quick enough or the way you should be seeing them, don't let social media fool you. Don't let people tell you that you should have it at a certain time frame or whatnot. It just doesn't work that way. So, guys, turn it around. Go to your social media, go to the news, turn the news off, shut it off, go to your social media, unfollow anybody that is not serving you, go unfollow anybody. If you're opening your social media and you're following somebody and, you just constantly feel like they're not being 100% authentic, unfollow them, guys. There are literally hundreds of thousands of people you guys can follow right now that are going to add value to your lives, that are in the space that you want to be in, that are good at what you want to do. And ultimately, it's a form of free mentorship, right? If you guys are following some of these people, there's a ton of us out there, myself included, that tries to give free value just in an effort to help people, right? To save some of you guys some of the struggles that we have gone through. And this is one of these key things for me from a mindset perspective to keep me sharp, to keep me motivated. This is it, guys. Like, especially right now, this day and age, we have so many crazy things going on right now in the world. I can't tell you guys. I mean, since 2019, really rolling into 2020 until today, between the whole COVID mess and all the presidential elections of last year. Now we got a war going on. The world's a kind of a rough place right now. Things have not been as smooth as they should be. Man, I'll tell you guys what, if I knew what we were facing for 2020, 21, 22, I probably would have celebrated 2019 a little more on that New Year's. But I think now more than ever, it is absolutely critical that you guys are feeding yourselves, the things that you need to feed yourself, right? You need to be feeding yourself with people daily that are uplifting you, people that are, sharing the same messages that you want to see, people that are helping you get to where you want to be, people that are willing to lay out the roadmap for you guys and leave you guys some little hints and successes of clues. And ultimately, guys, especially this day and age right now with everything that's taking place, people that are positive, right? People that aren't on social media and making the world out to be this ugly, nasty place, because it's not. There's amazing people out there. There's amazing opportunities out there. It's out there, guys. You just got to dig through it and find it. And especially this day and age right now, again, that's so filtered, figure out how to look past that. Make sure you guys are following the right people. Make sure you guys are following the right businesses that are willing to teach you guys some things. And I guarantee you it's going to change your guys' mindset, right? What you feed yourself is what you're going to think. What you surround yourself is who you're going to become. So be selective with what you're feeding yourself daily, guys. Hopefully this brought a little bit of value for you guys. Like I said, this is a little bit softer of a subject. It's not 100% business related. This is more on the mindset side of things, but I felt like it was important, especially this day and age. So I really hope that this helps some of you guys. If you find value in this, if you guys know somebody that maybe could hear this, feel free to share this. I'd love for you guys to share this post with somebody you think they could use hearing this today or add some value. And as always, guys, hopefully you guys get out there, crush it.